friends, and welcome back to Gardening Suburbia. My name is Amanda and I'm a gardener, homesteader. I'm a homesteader here in Cincinnati, Ohio, Zone 6. Today we are in my kitchen. We are actually getting ready to go into a bake day. I do a lot of farmers markets where I sell sourdough goods, and currently I'm in the process of painting my house. Trying to see what I've got going on back there. My entire pantry behind you has been cleared out because the intention is that I want to paint in there as well. But we recently said goodbye to our dog. We recently said goodbye to our dog. He was up there in age and unfortunately it was just his time to go. So in lieu of new chapters, we decided that we were going to repaint the main floor and just kind of give us a reset. So last weekend I went ahead and I painted my dining room, which used to be like this, well, it used to be that color, which is like a gray color. In certain lights it looks purple. It was the first time I've ever painted a place that I've lived in, where I actually got to pick the color. And for whatever reason, that was the color I chose, and I don't care for it anymore. So we went ahead and we are switching gears, and I've got this gorgeous, like kind of taupey green color. It looks a lot darker when it's dark outside, obviously. That makes sense, right, Amanda? But it is a beautiful color. Here in the kitchen, we're doing like this color here. It is called sterling white. It's the same color that I used upstairs in my bathroom, as well as the hallway going up my stairs. It's just a really fresh white color, but it kind of has like this underlying gray hue, blue hue. It's just really nice. And going from this dark color to this really nice light crisp color here in the kitchen, I think is just gonna make it more lively in here. So today I have some things on my checklist. I've got some dirty dishes on my stove that need cleaned from last night's dinner. I've got a sink full of dishes that need cleaned, and I need to get myself prepped and ready so that my kitchen is pristine so I can go ahead and have a successful bake day for tomorrow's market as well as this Saturday's market. So let me just give you a quick overview of the kitchen and then we'll just zoom past it. So this is what we're working with. It's a hot mess. I've got dishes that need to be put away. I've got dishes that need to be washed. I have things that just need to find homes. Watermelon that needs to find a home. So let's just do a quick transition. Dishes are done. I've cleaned my kitchen, got my countertops all nice and clean so I can go ahead and prep my ingredients for all of my recipes. So for this tomorrow's Westwood Farmers Market, I'm gonna be doing pretzels, pretzel bombs, which are cheddar jalapeno pretzels, which I tested on some friends over the 4th of July weekend and got good feedback on. So we're gonna go ahead and do those as well. I usually sell out of my pretzels fairly quickly. I'm gonna do a caprese loaf, which is just some fresh mozz, sun-dried tomatoes, and basil from the garden. It's delicious. We're gonna do blueberry bagels. I'm using dried blueberries this time around because I could not find dehydrated. Dehydrated are just gonna be kind of like freeze-dried, crispy, crunchy, no moisture. These kind of have moisture, so we're gonna see how these do. These may end up being better because I won't have to add more water to that recipe to kind of compensate for the blueberries having no moisture. We're gonna also do some cheddar jalapeno bagels. So I went ahead and I already shredded up some white cheddar as well as some mild cheddar. This stuff is so good. I'm gonna actually put this in the fridge. cheddar jalapeno bagels. I need to slice up my jalapenos. I need to dice up the mozzarella, make these sun-dried tomatoes smaller sizes. Because right now I think they're just julienned. No, these ones are like whole tomatoes. So those need to be sliced up. And then we need to cube some cheese for the pretzel bites. For this rendition of the cheddar jalapeno pretzel bombs, I talked it over with my boyfriend Davey, and he just thought it needed a little bit more heat. And the size of pretzel bombs that I was doing are like golf ball sized. So you would take a bite, and I'd only put like one. Let me just describe this. I had quartered the jalapeno, so half, and then sliced it. So they were like half an inch, about like squares, and I put one per pretzel bite. I think I'm going to dice this up pretty fine, removing the core and seeds, so it takes away some of the heat. But I think for the pretzels, I'm gonna try adding the finely diced jalapeno into the dough instead of making a pocket with the cheese and the jalapeno and like folding it in. I'll just have the jalapenos incorporated in the dough so that you get a more even bite of jalapeno, and then it's like the gooey cheese on the inside. So I think that'll be good. We're gonna try it out, and if it goes well, I'll make more for the bigger market that's on Saturday. What else? We're making plain sourdough, as well as I'm gonna try, maybe I won't do the rye bread. I was gonna do some rye sourdough bread that I tried with my stepsister who loves rye bread. But I haven't made a label for it yet. And based on Ohio's cottage food system, cottage food laws, you have to have a label with all of the ingredients, the weight, and I don't have that made up. So maybe I'll hold off on the rye bread and just make it a little easier on myself, and maybe just make more of the caprese and the plain loaves. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna make it a little simpler on myself. I did decide to do a single batch of cinnamon rolls, which this last time around, I purchased these little tins off of Amazon. I think the next time I do this, which I think I will because this was so simple, they fit perfectly in there. They come with little lids that are the perfect height, that it doesn't like squish the cream cheese topping on them. Let me get a count. This is like multiple lids in one, but you like put the lid on top and you can see that gap. It's like the perfect height. Plus they come with little spoons, which makes it so that my customers can enjoy this at the market versus having to take it home to enjoy it. Previously I had just put the cinnamon rolls in a bag, which wasn't perfect because all of the cream cheese frosting would just like get stuck in the bag. So this was a pretty good option. I think the next time I do buy these though, I'm going to get them not colored, like no color. I love this black and gold, especially with my colors of my business. It works perfect, but I don't know if I like it having a coating on it. So I might try to find an option that has no coating, just to make it a little more, I don't want to say food safe, but like, I just don't like that there's a coating on this. So, quit my yapping. We've got to get some dough started. It is already 7:30 at night. I have my market. We have to be leaving my house by like 3. This market is super close to my house, which makes it really, really enjoyable to do because there's not a huge drive time, which makes everything a lot easier, smoother. It's more enjoyable when it's close by. So we've got some happy sourdough starter, lots of bubbles. It needs to get put into some dough because we're already starting to see some fall. I should have used it when it was at peak, but that's okay. It hasn't fallen completely yet. So I need to grab my bins, and we need to make some plain loaves and our caprese loaves. I'm gonna start on the plain so that I can prep the ingredients for the caprese. All right, so I kind of goofed. I need to put my hair back. I went ahead and grabbed my bake schedule, which I like to map out. I like to change up my baking lineup or what I'm offering every single market. There are a few staples that stay the same, so pretzels, plain loaves, those kind of things. But I like to kind of switch out seasonally the different loaves. Right now we're in our summer, so caprese loaf is a really beautiful, like fresh summer flavor. And then I like to write down all of the recipes I'm going to be doing, how many batches or how much I'm going to bulk it up, and then the initial rise time, because every single recipe is different. My pretzels use instant or active dry yeast, so they don't need the bulk time that my plain loaves do, which is about 8 hours. Now that can change depending on the temperature of my kitchen. Right now it's probably like 69, 70 degrees in my kitchen. But if it were warmer, that bulk rise time would be shorter. Because the warmer that you have your kitchen or the space that you're baking in, the shorter amount of time it's gonna take for that bread to rise. So before I start saying we're gonna do bread loaves right now, because bread loaves only take a certain amount of time, I know that my bagels need between 10 to 12 hours for a bulk rise. So we're doing cheddar jalapeno bagels and our blueberry bagels. Both of those are going to be 10 to 12 hour rise times. So we actually need to start the bagels first. I believe my caprese loaf is closer to 9 hours, if I remember correctly. No, it is 10 to 14 hours. So the caprese loaf needs to be started at about the same time as our bagels, which we'll do the bagels first and then we'll do the caprese loaf. Those need to get done first because they need that longer rise time. I can go ahead and get a couple batches in when I start baking. I'll do a really early bake morning tomorrow. We'll be probably waking up. It's 7:30 right now. We'll probably be waking up around 3 or 4 in the morning to get this stuff started. So we can go ahead and get a couple more loaves in during that time. So we're not doing the rye sourdough loaf, nixing that guy. Our cinnamon rolls are 6 to 8 hour rise, and then our plain loaf is a 6 to 8 hour. Yeah, six to 8 hour rise time. So what we need to do now is our bagels. So my bagel recipe is very, very simple. And I just recently invested, finally, in some big totes to do mixing. These aren't, I guess they're not massive, but they're much larger than the bowls I was using, which are pretty tiny in comparison. So because they're so big and I have an inky dinky, rinky dink scale, I have to use a smaller bowl to get my measurements to then pour into the bin. I'm gonna put my cheese back in the fridge so it stays good. And we're gonna get started on our bagels. So the bagels that we're doing first are going to be our blueberry bagels. How many blueberry bagels are we doing, Amanda? I don't know. I said 3x. So we're going to do 1,500 grams of bread flour, 33 grams of salt, 24, 48, 32, 40, 48, 68, 72 grams of sugar, 250, 500, 750 of water, which we may have to adjust depending on how much, you can kind of tell with the dough, sometimes it needs a little more water. And then we need 300 grams of active starter. Okay, so we're going to start with our water and our starter. So we need 750 grams of water. I'm going to grab my trusty Pyrex. We're gonna measure out 750 grams, and we don't want this to be hot water. We don't want it to be ice cold. At least I don't. If you want your rise time to be longer, cold water. You want it to be shorter, warmer water. But you don't want it to get hotter than 110 degrees Fahrenheit, or else your starter will be less active. I shot the shot without you guys seeing it. So we have 764 grams of water. That's gonna be fine. We're just 14 grams over. That's not gonna be a big deal. So we need to add 300 grams of our active sourdough starter. There we have 300 grams. And what we're gonna do now is just give this a good mix so it's well incorporated. I like to use either a dough whisk or just a normal whisk. Take it off my scale so it doesn't break it. Then we're gonna add it to our bin here. So next we need our flour, salt, sugar. So flour, we need bread flour, and we're doing 1,500 grams. Salt, we need 33 grams. 72 of sugar. I'm going to just give this a quick whisk with a fresh whisk, maybe. So it's incorporated in the flour. And lastly, I'm gonna add this to this. Well, not lastly, we need our blueberries, which looks like I did 10 grams of crushed freeze-dried blueberries per recipe. These are dried, and then I added 30 grams of water extra per batch. Smell phenomenal. very good. Okay. I wonder if they'll give us the same coloring that doesn't look like very much. Okay. I might have to up. So that's 50 grams. Oh, shoot. 20, 40, 60. I don't know. That doesn't look like very much. That does not look like much at all. Change my recipe. I also don't know that if these are gonna give that beautiful swirl that I was loving with the dehydrated blueberries. But they might have better flavor. I don't know. Yeah, I think we need more blueberries. All right, so here's what I'm thinking. This does not look like enough blueberries for like 60 grams, which is 20 grams per. When I use dehydrated, I use 10 grams. So I'm gonna add another 60. That's gonna put us at 120, 40, 80. That'd be 40 grams per recipe. We'll see what that looks like, and if we need to add more, I'll just add more, and that'll be fine. I just want this to look good. This is definitely gonna need more water, but that looks way better. I want a good ratio of blueberry to dough. I want there to be a blueberry bite in every, a blueberry in every bite, as there should be. I really hope that these do the dough or the color transfer. Okay, I definitely need more water. This is super dry. Okay. We'll probably add maybe 30 grams more water. I went ahead and I actually transferred the blueberry bagels to this blue bowl because it's going to fill up this bowl better. That other container was just too big for that. I need to save those for the dough. That's dough too. For the bread loaves because I'm making more of them. So I took note of how much I used per recipe of the dried blueberries for next time if I use them again. I bought 2 bags just in case. I'm gonna pop them in my pantry and we'll see how that goes. I'm gonna grab some saran wrap, wrap this, and we're gonna get it labeled with what it is, how big of a batch it is, and what time it was started. All right, so we've got 1 batch under our belt. We're gonna start our cheddar jalapeno bagels. This one I'm gonna do 4 times the recipe because it does sell out pretty well. So, same process as before. Well, actually what we're gonna do is actually see how much starter we have. Because I need to feed this and get us ourselves set up so that we can make more bread in the morning. So, be very dependent on how much is in here. So 200. We're gonna do a 3 batch, same as before, because I need to have enough starter that I can have enough for our other recipes. It's 285, 292, 300. Also gonna get this guy fed. Starter is fed with some warm water to really get it going. I'm gonna pop it in my oven not on, just the oven light on. It's gonna create a warmer environment and make it want to rise faster. Put my saran wrap lid back on. We're gonna put this in the oven. All right. So 300 grams of starter. We need 750 of water. And because this is my cheddar jalapeno bagel recipe, I do not add inclusions into the dough. Every once in a while I'll put some cheese in the dough, but not always. Most of the time I just top it with cheddar and jalapenos. $7.69. All I've got now is a baby whisk. My other ones are already dirty, and I already have a sink full of dishes. All right. So 1,500 grams of bread flour. Two grams of sugar, we got a shaggy dough. Both bagels are going to rest for an hour. That's just gonna let all of that flour hydrate and make it easier to form. So once it's rested for an hour, we're going to go ahead and knead this dough until we get a really nice, smooth dough ball. So I need to get some saran wrap on this, label it, time it, and I'm gonna grab some dinner. All right, friends, so it's about 9:40 now. I'm gonna go ahead and do the knead. I'm gonna go ahead and knead my dough and then prep some ingredients, and then I'm gonna go to bed, and we're gonna come back in here and get some dough going. So, clean my surface again. We've got our blueberry bagels, which are nice and hydrated now. They smell very good. So we're just gonna dump this dough. Oh yes, they're gonna get that beautiful coloring. Okay, cool. You can kind of see the blue is bleeding into the dough. Probably as I knead this, it'll get some more color, especially since I'm gonna be kind of mushing them.
So I'm just trying to give this guy a nice, smooth texture and really make sure everything is nice and incorporated. Haven't made any blueberry bagels from Market this year, which is funny because they're one of my favorites, especially since they're so pretty. I think the ratio of blueberries was good too. If anything, I probably could add like maybe 50 grams of blueberries per recipe, but I feel like it looks pretty good. That looks beautiful. Pop it back in my bowl, put the cover back on. I'm gonna wash my hands and then we'll do our other batch of bagels. I just royally screwed up. I washed my hands. I did not clean the surface of my countertop. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna convert these cheddar jalapeno bagels into more blueberry bagels because I don't wanna cross-contaminate my products because I just don't want there to be any chance that someone gets a product that is cross-contaminated with something that they're allergic to. I want them to be able to look at the product, see what it has in the ingredients, and determine for themselves whether or not they can have it. I don't want them to see it, say, yeah, I can have that, and then get it home, eat it, and then something bad happen. So we're going to pivot, adjust, and these are going to become another batch of blueberry bagels. So what I am going to do is I'm going to grab these dried berries. I'm going to measure out 120 grams, and I'm going to fold these guys into this dough. So accidents happen all the time in the bakery. It's okay. I just kind of have to adjust. I want to be serving my customers products that are good quality, and they just know what they're getting. So what I'm gonna do this dough. Just kind of try to incorporate these guys and fold them in. I'm losing blueberries. All right, we adjusted. Where's my bubble? My bowl. It's a good thing I didn't add my cheese. That would have been a big failure. All right, so what I'm thinking is, since I can't do, or I'm not doing the cheddar jalapeno bagels, I can instead do a cheddar jalapeno loaf. I do have, or at least there was a couple people that, well, I don't know what I'm saying. I always sell out of the cheddar jalapeno. It's one of my favorite flavors. There is a few people that come for me specifically for the cheddar jalapeno bagels because you can't really find them in my area. Our local grocery store stopped supplying them. And so whenever people see them, they get really excited. So while I can't have them for this market, I will try to have them for Saturday's market, which both markets are super close to each other. So if I have anyone stop by my booth and ask about the cheddar jalapeno bagels, be sure to let them know I will have them Saturday. All right, so we're going to clean our countertops, and then we're gonna start prepping the rest of our ingredients for tomorrow. So all I have to do is just mix things up. Mozzarella, cheddar cheese, and our jalapenos. So we're gonna start with our cheeses. Mild cheddar first. I think we'll do 2 chunks. So we are basically going to just cut these into thirds. And then 2 thirds again. This side, because this is just a little thinner, want it to kind of have the same amount of cheese. And then do nice little cubes. Nothing super exact. Just a good hunk of cheese for the inside of our cheddar jalapeno bites. Wash the surface. Good morning, friends. So we've got the stove on so I can have some coffee. Our sourdough starter has definitely risen. So we're gonna get our bread started. Look at what else we're doing. So I said we were going to do we need to start the caprese loaf first. My coffee's done. I'm gonna make my coffee. I'm gonna wake up a little bit and I'll come back to you guys. Coffee has been brewed. We have our list of ingredients for what I need for this bread loaf. So I've got measured out the water, the flour, our ingredients to add in our inclusions. So we just need to get a couple other things measured out and put into this bin here. And we're gonna get it mixed together and let it get on its way to bulk fermentation. Our starter did not overflow. It was perfect. It's actually starting to fall, but it looks so good. Alright friends, so we're at the Thursday market. I did not finish filming where we left off. This is a different Thursday, but it's still the Thursday market. I brought hot honey Asiago, Parmesan, and Romano loaves. We've got roasted garlic and rosemary loaves, blueberry bagels, cinnamon rolls with cream cheese frosting, and banana bread slices. Just want to say thank you guys for joining me in my little big day madness. I'll post a video up here for you guys to enjoy until my next upload. But until then, thank you guys so much for joining me today and all the days. And I will see you guys in the next one.